want to continue this conversation with John Kostiak from the National Whistleblower Center. John, good to have you here. Thank you for being with us. I want to just continue with the question that Stephanie asked. The new whistleblower is apparently not filing a separate complaint. Does the fact that they have been interviewed by the Inspector General of the intelligence community give them the same protections as the original whistleblower?
That's right. This whistleblower is entitled to full protection. They're cooperating, providing useful evidence. That's all that's necessary. The reasonable belief that some law might have been violated or that the president might have abused his authority, all it takes for this whistleblower to get underneath that umbrella of protection.
Let's share what House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy was saying. He was pushing a line that we have heard from Republicans in their defense of the president. Watch this.
Nowhere in America would somebody go to a trial without able to have a witness, without able to cross-examine, without being able to have any fairness. And that is what Nancy Pelosi is doing.
How does that kind of thing work in a whistleblower case, especially one involving the president of the United States?
Yeah, that statement is totally out of context. We're not in a trial situation. This is much more analogous to your typical investigation that any prosecutor might do or any government investigator might take control of. The whistleblower laws are set up so the whistleblower can supply evidence for investigators from both parties, Republicans and Democrats, to follow up with. And that's all that's happened so far. Nobody is in trial. If there were to be a trial, it would be happening in the Senate. And the House managers would decide at that point which witnesses to put forward. At that point, it would be a legitimate claim that the defendant, in that case the president, would have a right to confront his accusers. But we're nowhere near that stage. It's highly premature to think that these whistleblowers would be star witnesses. They've fulfilled their patriotic duty and put forward evidence for investigation by the investigators in both the House and Senate Intelligence Committees.
Now, the president has signaled he wants to find out who the whistleblower is. Lindsey Graham has asserted that he will ensure that the whistleblower's identity are exposed if there's an inquiry in the Senate. What's your reaction to that?
Well, that's contrary to centuries-old whistleblower law. We have had the very idea from the founding of this country that we want whistleblowers. If you want whistleblowers, the people who have inside information about violations of law and abuse of authority, we should create an environment where their views and their information are encouraged. If we create an environment where they're punished, and by the way, there is a long, sorry history of whistleblowers being punished, losing their livelihoods, their families being threatened, them being threatened. If we want to just discourage criminal information from coming forward, then say we are going to expose you and make threats. But fortunately, we have a consensus that's existed from the beginning, from both Republicans and Democrats. No, we want whistleblowers to step forward. We want them protected. In fact, we had great statements last week from Senator Grassley, sort of one of the key architects of our whistleblower law, Republican from Iowa, saying, we want this whistleblower to be heard. We want this whistleblower to be protected. So I think it's really an out of the mainstream view to think that we're going to expose these people now and send a message to all whistleblowers. We don't really care to hear from you. Rather, you stay intimidated.
That is exactly the message that people might be taking who are sitting around thinking, I've got information. We already know this is hard, right? From the coverage that we've had in the last couple of years about other things, not just this, but even in the Me Too stuff, we know that the chances of you getting in trouble for coming forth with things are high. The chances of you being ostracized, the chances of you not getting promoted, the chances of you having to leave your job and being shamed by people is really high.
And then if you have to leave your job, there's a good chance you can't get another job. It's why in corporate America, you often see whistleblowers get settlements that on the face would seem outsized, but they're not if you factor in the damage.
That is a very common story we hear all the time from our whistleblowers, is that we can't even stay in our chosen profession.
Right. Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.